Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm back at the lodge and I am, you'll never guess, watercolour painting. The dogs are enjoying the time outside, the sun is out, it's not as windy as it was in the last video, and I am ready to just have a good time. I've decided to face a different way now. This is facing out of the side of the lodge on the little balcony decked area. I'll show you that in a moment. I'm just really quickly doing what I normally do and with a really light wash. So I mix a lot of water in with the pigment of the colours. I use the 4 wells on the bottom of this watercolour tray I pretty much put a lot of water in each of them, and then I'll add a little bit of pigment and I'll mix colours in there just to add this first light wash. And you can see I'm also spreading it out with my finger as well. I always find that that's a really nice way of spreading the paint across the page, but you get a little bit of texture, and you also get sort of where some of the colour is more prominent in one end, and then you can see it sort of blending out. I really struggled with how to describe that there, I'm so sorry. But then I go over it and I kind of add a bit more pigment as I go. I start blocking things in that I know are prominent and that I really want to capture in the future. Normally this starts off with the trees, and then I'll add in like if there's any bushes, any like shrubberies, things like that, flowers. So this is what I'm painting. I'm sort of going for a little bit of a zoomed in version. I'm not trying to capture it exactly how it is. I'm trying to capture it things as I'm noticing them. So I'll have a look, I'll notice a specific tree that's sort of leaning, I'll add that in. And I just go like that. I never really have in mind that I want to add everything in and have it sort of like a photo. I really want it to be like organic, natural and loose. I'm not going to put too much effort into trying to make it look exactly how it is. So this tree doesn't look like this, but that's just how I like to capture landscapes. It's a way for me to remember them, and it's just such a really pretty thing. Ooh. So this is what I'm painting, sort of this leaning in tree on the left there, and then you can see there's a little beck, a little stream that's going along, and it sounds so lovely. And you can see the sun is glistening from it. Sometimes you see a little duck, or you'll see a hare that sometimes comes along and has a little drink out of there. And so I'm just working on that, just adding little pieces in. I try not to spend too much time on one painting. Sometimes I'll even have like my sketchbook and some paper that I'll be painting really quick, tiny landscapes on. I try and just get things down as quick as I can and keep going. I am trying as well to work on capturing different angles and stuff for my videos. It's quite difficult when you're used to sort of getting lost inside of an illustration or a painting, remembering like, okay, I need to move the camera, but I think I'm getting okay at it. But I also find that it doesn't interfere with my painting because it's kind of loose and it doesn't have to be exact. I find that it's okay. Sometimes it's better. It gives me like a moment to step away from the painting, step away from the thing that I'm painting, and then come back, and you might notice something different, especially if I'm standing in a different position, or if I've maybe turned the sketchbook slightly on an angle, or I've straightened it out. Sometimes I notice different things, and that's always a really good thing. I'm just continuing to add in little pieces, and then I use my finger and I spread them out. It's one of my favourite things to do. You do end up with like a few different colours on the finger that you're using to spread it out, and sometimes that adds in a little bit of texture. A little bit of like a muddiness, but it's not like a bad thing. It sometimes adds in like the hint of a shadow or something like that. There is a road further down in the distance. You might see some cars going past and that very far tree line. That you can't really hear them, but it's just funny. Sometimes when you're standing there, you can see them, but the sounds of nature sort of overcome the sound of the road, and it's really sweet. It's really nice. I was really lucky this day that the sun stayed out. This was quite early in the morning. You know, the sun's just sort of waking up, and yeah, I was really fortunate enough that morning to see an owl. There was a little barn owl flying around over the water, and the night before that I did see the hare came along to the fence, and I managed to get some photos of it. If I can find the photos, I'll add them in. But such a beautiful place to be in, and I'm always inspired when we go there. I wish I could live there, to be honest. So I've finished the painting part of this, and I'm just going to add in some extra texture with some pencils. This is my usual part of finishing up an illustration, and it doesn't take too long. I sort of just add in shadows or texture. You can see I'm adding in like little strands of grass and things like that. I think it just adds an extra little element to it. I think we're coming very close to the end of the video on all of the footage that I captured of this illustration, but I will add in a photo at the end of what it looks like for you to have a look at. So I couldn't find the pictures of the hare, but I do have the pictures of the owl that I took, and I loved them. You can see how frosty it was in the morning, so then that sun coming out was just a beautiful treat. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I'm trying to do some more really relaxed videos. That's more my kind of vibe, and I hope you've enjoyed it. As normal, please like and subscribe if you really want to, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!